and serve it. Recipes are a framework, but the most important thing is the ingredient, where you find it, how you cook it, and how you will turn it into a beautiful meal. I want you to know.
We're in the middle of baking season. Which is also known as the holiday season. And I would be remiss if I didn't contribute a new dessert recipe for all of you guys to enjoy. The two dessert recipes I posted last year, my paleo chocolate cake and my vegan caramel cheesecake, have been reader favorites ever since. And I have a feeling that this new dessert recipe is gonna be just as popular. So today I'm gonna show you how to make a flourless chocolate cake that is rich and decadent and divine. And yes, it's 100% flourless. So that means that not only is it gluten-free, but that you don't have to worry about mixing or substituting various flours. In fact, there's only 5 ingredients in this chocolate cake recipe, and I think it's pretty foolproof. So let me show you how to make it. To get started, fill a pot with about 2 inches of water, as we'll create a double boiler to melt our chocolate. You could also skip this step and use a microwave to melt the chocolate if you prefer that method. While the water is coming to a boil, we'll separate 6 eggs and bring them to room temperature. And my little tip when it comes to separating eggs is that it's easiest to separate eggs while they're still cold and then let them come to room temperature once they're separated. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Many flourless chocolate cake recipes are really dense and almost fudge-like, but I prefer a lighter, more fluffier cake, so that's why we're separating the eggs. Because then we can whip up the egg whites and fold them back into the batter for a light and airy chocolate cake. Measure 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips and place them in a large bowl, as we'll be adding more to this. I also use pooja chocolate chips as they're allergen friendly, and these are linked on the shop page on my website. To the chocolate, add 6 tablespoons of butter and then transfer the bowl to the pot of simmering water to slowly melt the chocolate and butter. Make sure that the water isn't touching the bottom of the glass bowl, as you don't want to burn the chocolate. And after a few minutes, it should be completely melted and silky smooth when you stir it. Remove the chocolate from the heat and let it cool to room temperature, and then preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Grease the inside of a 9-inch springform pan with butter, and do make sure you grease all the way to the top of the pan, as this cake expands a bit like a souffle. And then set this pan to the side. Add your room temperature egg whites to a stand mixer and beat these until you have soft to medium peaks. My word of caution when using a stand mixer for egg whites is that you can easily and quickly overbeat them, so do keep an eye on them. You could also use a hand mixer as well. Once you have soft peaks, at this point, our melted chocolate should be room temperature, and that's really important because we're gonna add our egg yolks, and we don't want to accidentally scramble our eggs into our chocolate. So add the egg yolks and stir them into the chocolate. You also wanna add a ½ teaspoon of espresso powder to the chocolate. I accidentally left it off while filming, but it's the key ingredient that adds so much richness to this dessert. Add 1/3 of the egg whites to the chocolate and stir them together. You're just looking to lighten the heaviness of the chocolate at this stage, so don't worry about deflating the egg whites. Then add the remaining egg whites and gently fold them into the chocolate. You can do this by scraping your spatula in a circular motion around the outside of the bowl, lifting from the bottom to the top. When you're done, it should be pretty well combined, but it's also okay if there's still a few streaks in the batter. Pour the batter into your springform pan and bake it for 40 to 45 minutes. The cake should be at the top of the pan when you remove it from the oven, but it will instantly start to deflate once it cools. You may also get cracks on the top of the cake as it cools, depending on which sugar you use, and I just think those add character to the cake. When it comes to serving your flourless chocolate cake, you can sprinkle it with powdered sugar, cacao powder, or dollop some of my coconut whipped cream with a side of berries. But today, I'm a bit of a purist and sticking with more chocolate. As you slice the cake, you'll instantly be able to tell that it's not overly dense. It's light and fluffy, yet rich and decadent. And that, my friends, is how easy it is to make a flourless chocolate cake that's gluten-free and paleo-friendly. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up as that helps to support my channel, and hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss next week's video.
嚟出聲。咁等陣係咪？但係有回音喎。你嗰邊聽唔聽到回音啊？我想問。你嗰邊聽唔到回音啊？咁可能係我呢邊有回音咯。但係我用緊 hand three 㗎，我用緊 hand three 㗎。但係我想問，出嚟嗰個聲有冇？你而家聽唔聽我把聲先？你喺個 YouTube 度聽嚇？你喺 YouTube 嗰度有冇聽到我把聲啊？我想問。但係我喺 YouTube 聽唔到自己把聲嘅。係你聽唔到你自己聲嘅，哦，我知啦，因為你你唔好同我講嘢住，我收到呢個線先，我要聽下嗰邊聽唔聽到聲。OK， 拜拜。咁我繼續講嘢。Eat me, please, eat me. I'm here for you. How you can improve tradition. This is panettone in a traditional way. This is a panettone you can make from the leftover. Can you imagine? But this is 100 times better than this. You know, in cooking, you always have to keep the door open for the unexpected. I want to tell you a story. At the moment, I had to create pesto for 120 people. We are out of pine nuts. What are we gonna do? Breadcrumbs. We put breadcrumbs instead of pine nuts.我知道應該點做啦，咁等陣啦，我就中心部電腦啦，就播 YouTube，跟住大家就聽到，咁然後咧我喺自己部電腦轉播，咁樣樣咯。